Colorado High School Activities Association Baseball is on 1010 KSIR and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. From Sunset Field in Brush, Colorado, the Brush Beat Diggers face the Yuma. And you give them the mascot name. Good afternoon, I'm Kevin Fergus. We look forward to today's ball game. We'll run through the Beat Diggers starting lineup, brought to you by Equitable Savings and Loan. Borrow locally from people you know. Equitable has been providing personal bankers to help you through all the steps. Stop by one of the 10 locations across the plains or visit equitable-savings.com. Beat Diggers lineup. Ty Griffith will lead off. Tanner Ludgate will play center field and hit second. Josh Lancaster is on the hill, and he'll pitch and hit third. Nate Tyne is the shortstop, hitting fourth. Percy Odell hit fifth, play second base. Frank Garrett, Tank, will play first base and hit sixth. Hunter Proctor will be in left field today, hitting seventh. Wiley Eicher will hit eighth, and he'll be at third base. And Edgar Navarro will hit ninth, and he'll be in right field. So that's the Brush Beat Diggers starting lineup. First pitch is going to be brought to you by Buildings by Design. First impressions are important. Buildings by Design will make your vision a reality. Visit buildsbydesign.com. As Josh Lancaster finishes his last warm-up toss, Ty Griffith goes out, and the infield all gather. Josh Lancaster, 3.18 ERA, 22 innings pitched, 21 strikeouts, 15 base on balls. Brush Beat Diggers wear their maroon uniforms with their gold pinstripes. Yuma comes into the game with a record of 4-14. They're on a 9-game losing streak. And Angel Escobar will lead it off for the Yuma baseball team. First pitch, a strike at the knees, outside corner. Yuma still embroiled in what are they going to call themselves, because they're no longer the Indians. And that ball's fouled back into the screen. They're not the Indians, and they proposed to be called the Tribe. And then after 3 months, that was turned down, so they could not be the Tribe. So basically, Yuma went into this last school year, the 0-2 count, Josh Lancaster ahead of Angel Escobar. Swung on and missed, strike three. 3 pitches, strikeout swinging. 1 out for the Beat Diggers. And Yuma's gone through the whole season, and they've just not had a mascot. So it's just Yuma, you fill in the blank. For the most part, the team that was formerly known as the Indians. But I talked to Brady Neiswanger, the coach for Yuma, and that ball's fouled towards the third base dugout. And Brady just said, we're Yuma. And they don't necessarily have a mascot. So, but Yuma having a rough season, 4-14. Brody Sheffield steps to the plate after Angel Escobar struck out. Brody Sheffield, we'll get some numbers on him. That ball's fouled up and past the screen. Brody Sheffield hitting 196. He's a freshman. .201 on-base percentage. Brody plays shortstop for the, I was going to say the Indians, for the Yuma baseball team. Pitch, swung at and missed. Strike 3. Two strikeouts for Josh Lancaster here in the top of the first inning. Rayleigh Trejo comes to the plate. Rayleigh plays third base for them today. He hits .293, .339 on-base percentage. Number 5 on his back. Pitch from Josh Lancaster. And that ball hit out towards left field, down left field line. That ball's going to get all the way to the fence. Hunter Proctor picks it up, gets it in, and Rayleigh Trejo has a single. Nice line drive by Rayleigh. Hit that ball hard. And that brings to the plate Carson Lynch. Carson Lynch for the Yuma baseball team hits .213, junior. .345 on-base percentage. Rayleigh Trejo takes a 2-step lead, and that ball hit towards first base. And Percy comes over and shuffles the ball to Tank Garrett at first base for the third out. So no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. One runner left on base for Yuma after a half inning. Yuma 0, Brush coming to the plate. You're listening to Beat Digger Baseball on 1010 KSIR and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. We're back to Sunset Field on a sun-swept afternoon. Blue sky all around, although there are clouds a distance away. Looks like probably up towards the Wyoming-Nebraska border to the north and Lyman to the south, but everything to the west is clear, blue sky. There's wind blowing, 75 degrees, game time temperature. Hugo Montez on the hill for Yuma. Hugo Montez has pitched 21 innings, has a 13.00 ERA, and his record 0-5. In those 21 innings, he struck out 20 and he's walked 28. So pretty much describes kind of how Yuma's season has gone right there in a nutshell. For Brush, Ty Griffith will come to the plate. And Ty Griffith is online in order to be all conference and should be all state. Ty comes to the plate hitting .589, .667 on base percentage. He's 4 home runs, 16 RBIs. Leads the team in 33 hits, 21 runs. He has 5 triples, 6 doubles, and 12 stolen bases. So Ty leads things off, and that's a good thing for Brush because Ty gets on and makes things happen. Hugo Montez finishes his warm-up tosses. Jake Hagemeyer in left, Angel Escobar in center, Tanner Hines in right, Rayleigh Trejo at short, Brody Sheffield at shortstop, Marvin Duarte at second base, Carson Lynch at first. Hugo Montez on the hill and swung at by Ty Griffith and missed. Jonathan Thompson, the sophomore, behind the plate. So we got Montez and Thompson. The battery for Yuma today, the 0-1 pitch skips into Thompson. The ball skips away, so ball 1. Count evens at 1-1. Brush is going to have to be patient today. Just seeing this type of pitcher and speed as opposed to what they faced last week when they faced Eaton. Of course, Eaton's just on another world. Brush comes into the game with an 8-12 record. That pitch back into the screen. Count is 3 balls and a strike to Ty Griffith after 1 pitch in the dirt, 2 back to the screen, the 3-1 and ball 4, and Ty walks. As I mentioned, Ty leads the team in stolen bases. Tanner Ludgate comes to the plate. Tanner Ludgate hitting 300, 358 on base percentage. Ty Griffith 2-step, 3-step, 4-step lead and takes off. And that pitch outside, and Ty has that base stolen standing up. Pitch was outside. Runner in scoring position. So Ty Griffith with 14 stolen bases now. 13 stolen bases. And he takes off to go to third. And that ball, wild pitch to the screen. So that's a ball, and Ty takes third on that wild pitch, although he had third stolen. Hugo Montez did not turn around, did not pay one mind to Ty Griffith. Tanner Ludgate, the hitter, 2-0, and that ball's fouled to the screen. Runner at third base for the Beat Diggers here in the bottom of the first inning. No score by Yuma in the top half of the inning. Brush looking to put a tally on the docket. Pitch from Montez. Strike on the inside corner. Evens the count at 2. And we'll go with a courtesy runner, and that's Thatcher Queen. Thatcher Queen comes in as a courtesy runner for Ty Griffith at third base. 2-2 count. Pitch upstairs. Ball 3. Full count to Tanner Ludgate. Full count. Runner at third. The pitch. And ball hit 2 hops to Sheffield at short. Ludgate gets down the line quick. And we got an out. Shortstop to first. And Queen comes in and scores Brush's first run.
Up next to the plate, senior number 5, Josh Lancaster.
So Brush with a 1-0 lead. Montez from the full windup. Pitch to the left-handed hitting Nate Tyne. One ball, one strike to Lancaster. Pitch upstairs, ball 2. 2 balls and a strike to Lancaster. Curveball at the letters, outside corner. That ball hit foul. Coach Brad Wolf at first base picks it up, gets it back to the pitcher Montez. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And that ball hit past second baseman into right field. Lancaster on at first with a base hit. Nate Tyne comes to the plate. Lancaster, pitcher, so he goes to the dugout. We got a courtesy runner in Caleb Jimenez. Caleb Jimenez at first, courtesy running. Nate Tyne comes to the plate. Jimenez with a big lead. Pitch upstairs to Nate Tyne. I'm so used to Tyne hitting in front of Lancaster. Jimenez, and that pitch hits Nate Tyne. Jimenez moves up to second base. So a hit by pitch puts runners at first and second. Percy Odell comes to the plate for the Diggers. Percy Odell, .359 on the season, .406 on base percentage. Jimenez leads off at second. Tyne at first. Ball hit out towards Sheffield, 1 hop, and ball gets past Sheffield. Odell brings Jimenez in to score. Cut off by Trejo. The ball goes to second base. Throw it into center field. And then Tyne comes around and scores. Brush with a 3-0 lead here. And Tank Garrett comes to the plate. I need to sort that out because base hit. Hard grounder. Vance. Jimenez scored. Tyne advanced and scored on the throwing error by Trejo. And Percy Odell at second base. And that ball hit by Tank out to second base. And that ball underneath the second baseman's glove for an error. And Odell comes in and scores Brush's 4th run here in the bottom of the first inning. Tank on at first via the error by the second baseman, Marvin Duarte. So Tank leads off at first. Hunter Proctor steps into the plate, pitches strike at the knees. Brush with a 4-0 lead here in the first inning on two hits and 2 Yuma errors. Pitch from Montez, a strike at the letters, inside corner. Proctor in the hole, 0-2, 1 out in the inning. Proctor 256 on the season, 283 on base. Tank Garrett steals second, and Tank Garrett gets tagged out. Tank Garrett, I think if he had a slid, I think he would have had second base stolen. Proctor count 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. And that pitch inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Proctor. Tank Garrett's attempted steal of second base, out. I think if he had a slid, I think he'd have been safe. The pitch, outside. Oh, umpire called Proctor out on a pitch that looked low and away. So the bat was still on his back, but nonetheless, Proctor is out. Brush scores 4 runs on 2 hits. There were 2 Yuma errors, and nobody left on base after 1 complete inning of play. Brush 4, Yuma 0. You're listening to Beat Digger Baseball on 1010 KSIR and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. Brush with 4 runs in the bottom of the first inning to take a commanding 4-0 lead over the Yuma Indians. Lancaster on the hill. And he faces the catcher, Jonathan Thompson, for the Yuma baseball team. Jonathan Thompson, sophomore, hits .302, 388 on base percentage. And that ball fouled towards the third base dugout. Thompson down in the hole, no balls, 2 strikes. Josh Lancaster, I don't want to jinx him, but he's not throwing a ball yet. The 0-2 pitch, and swung at, that was a ball, but swung at and missed for strike 3. Lancaster has struck out 3 of the first 4 today. The other was a little tapper that was between Garrett and Odell. Odell picks it up, gets it to Garrett. That was the end of the first inning. Hugo Montez comes to the plate, and Montez hits that ball out to Percy at second, over to Garrett at first, and quick and easy 4-3 on the putout.
Up next to the plate for Yuma, number 13, Jake Hagemeyer.
Jake Hagemeyer comes to the plate. Montez was hitting 122. Hagemeyer comes to the plate hitting 111. And that ball's fouled to the screen. Josh Lancaster throwing strikes today. He's thrown 13 pitches, and he's not thrown a ball. Of course, Yuma's helped him out. They've swung at a few pitches that were out of the zone. And there's a pitch that is upstairs. Curveball, he just didn't get on top of it. And that's the first ball that Josh Lancaster has thrown today. Count evens at 1. Hagemeyer swings at an off-speed pitch by Lancaster. Hagemeyer down on the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Yuma with 2 outs in the inning. Lancaster looks for the strikeout, and strike 3. Lancaster strikes out Hagemeyer. No runs, no hits, no errors, no brush errors, and no runners left on base after 1.5 innings of play as we wait to go to the bottom of the second. Brush 4, Yuma 0. You're listening to Beat Digger Baseball on 1010 KSIR and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. We go to the bottom of the second inning. Wiley Eicher will come to the plate for the Beat Diggers against the Yuma baseball team. Beautiful day at Sunset Field. If you've were thinking of coming out, go ahead, grab some suntan lotion, come on out. Watch the Diggers play. We started at 3:30 today. Oftentimes that's an unusual ball by Montez. Skips and back to the screen. Eicher ahead in the count. 1 ball, no strike. Edgar Navarro in the on-deck circle, the pitch. And that ball's back into the screen. Yuma at one point in the season, their record, they were 4-5, but they're on a 9-game losing streak. 2-0 pitch outside, ball 3. They play with the Hollyoaks and the Rays, and Eicher walks on 4 pitches. So Eicher on at first. Edgar Navarro comes to the plate. Navarro, he's been on base, but he does not have a number for his batting average, so Edgar Navarro needs to get a base hit here for the Beat Diggers today as they face Yuma. That ball bunted by Navarro. Montez picks it up. Nope, Montez fumbles it, and Eicher comes around second all the way to third. Trejo ended up with the ball as it got past Montez, and then there was a race for third base. So Navarro on at first via the error. As he put the ball in play and bunted. Error on the pitcher. And Eicher is out as he's tagged out. Navarro on at first. Ty Griffith steps in. First pitch to Ty, a ball. Navarro leads off at first. Montez pitch inside. 2 balls, no strikes. Ty walked his first time up. Morgan Community College, start your associate degree, continue your education, get specialized certificate. Visit morgancc.edu for more. The pitch from Montez upstairs to Griffith. A ball, 3 balls, no strikes to Ty Griffith. Eicher made a smart move because there was nobody covering third base, but Trejo beat him to the bag, tagged him out. 4th pitch, a ball. Griffith goes to first. Navarro moves up to second. So nobody out in the bottom of the second inning. Brush with a 4-0 lead. And Tanner Ludgate comes to the plate. Runners at first and second. Pitch, a strike. Belt high. Center cut. Story, Josh Lancaster, 4 strikeouts out of the first 6 outs while him being on the mound. And that ball hit past the third baseman. And Navarro rounds third, comes in and scores. Ty Griffith goes to third. And Ludgate follows that up to second base. So base hit, single for Ludgate.
Up next to the plate, senior number 5, Josh Lancaster.
So runners at second and third. Josh Lancaster comes to the plate. Brush scored their 5th run here of the game. Montez the pitch. Ball strike at the knees, outside corner. Montez the offering, and that ball hit down the left field line. And they're going to tag up, and now it drops safely. Thatcher Queen comes in and scores as a courtesy runner. Tanner Ludgate comes in and scores. So there's the 6th and 7th runs. Lancaster with a double on the ball, hit down the left field line.
To the plate, senior number 3, Nate Hyde.
And Caleb Jimenez comes in to run, courtesy runner for Lancaster. Brush with seven runs through the first 2 innings. 1 out. Nate Tyne comes to the plate, and that ball skips out in front of the catcher, and Caleb Jimenez moves up from second to third on the pass ball. So runner at third for Nate Tyne. 1 ball, no strikes. 1 out. Pitch, and that ball hit towards right field, and that's going to get over the right fielder's head up to the fence on 1 hop. And Jimenez comes in and scores. Nate Tyne rounds second and headed to third, diving in safely with a triple. Brush doubled their score in the second inning. They scored 4 in the first. They're up to 8 total. Percy Odell comes to the plate. That ball Tyne just got a hold of and hit it hard up and over the right fielder's head. Odell to the plate, and that pitch upstairs.
Local sports like no one else on 1010 KSIR Brush Fort Morgan.
And that ball to the screen, and on the wild pitch, and Nate Tyne comes in and scores the 9th run for the Brush Beat Diggers on the wild pitch. Percy Odell ahead in the count, 2 balls, no strikes. Nobody on base. The offering, and that pitch upstairs. On that wild pitch that Tyne came in and scored on. Ball got past the catcher, ricocheted, and he was able to pick it up about halfway between home plate and the backstop and was able to come back towards the plate. And at the last second, and Odell walks on 4 pitches. At the last second, he flipped it to Montez, and Montez didn't catch it, and then Tyne slides in safely. So 9 runs for the Brush Beat Diggers. Odell on at first. Tank Garrett comes to the plate. Odell takes off, and that ball hit by Garrett. Base hit past Trejo, and Odell comes all the way around to third. We'll give Garrett the base hit. Hit the ball sharply right past the third baseman. Garrett hits from the left side and hit a hard line drive. So runners at first and third. Odell at third. Garrett at first. Hunter Proctor steps to the plate. Proctor struck out on a pitch that was low and outside. Montez gets a sign from Thompson. Pitch. And that ball's hit up and out of play. Garrett was on the move towards second base. Garrett, 2-step lead, 3-step lead at first. Garrett takes off, and that pitch, a strike, and that ball's thrown down to second base. This time Garrett steals the bag. Oh, he's going to say that Garrett stepped off, and then Garrett ended up stepping off the bag at second, and the second baseman, Marvin Duarte, puts a tag on Garrett, and then on the play, Odell comes in and scores. So out, Garrett caught stealing. Catcher to second base, and Odell comes in and scores. We'll just do that. And for Proctor, he's down in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Brush with 10 runs. Here in the second inning, pitch and swung on and missed. Strike 3, third out. Brush scores 6 runs on 4 hits. There was nobody left on base, and there was 1 Yuma error. After 2 complete innings of play, Brush 10, Yuma 0. You're listening to Beat Digger Baseball on 1010 KSIR and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. Sunset Field, Brush, Colorado. Kevin Fergus with you on 1010 KSIR and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. Josh Lancaster on the hill for Brush. Braden Brunk comes to the plate. Braden Brunk hit. He doesn't have a base hit to where he has a batting average. He's been on base, but doesn't have a batting average. He falls behind in the count. First pitch, strike. Lancaster blows that pitch past Braden Brunk for strike 2. Lancaster, the 0-2 pitch, the offering. Pitch just outside. Josh Lancaster, this being his 20th pitch of the game. And that ball's fouled back into the screen. Out of 20 pitches, 18 strikes. Lancaster's been pounding the zone, but as I mentioned earlier, Yuma swung at a number of pitches outside the zone, and it just so happens that they're strike 3. The 1-2 and swung at by Brunk, strike 3. Lancaster has 5 strikeouts through 2 1/3 innings. Marvin Duarte comes to the plate. Duarte, a freshman, second baseman, and he doesn't have a base hit, and that ball's fouled back into the screen. He has a 300 on base percentage, so apparently a good eye, but I'm guessing he probably doesn't have too many at-bats to give him that statistic. Ten nothing, top of the 3rd inning, and that pitch, check swing, strike. No balls, 2 strikes. And that pitch low. Ty Griffith picks it up out of the dirt. Brush Bee Diggers come into the game, as I mentioned, 8-12 record. They just finished up a 4-game junket down at Hayes, Kansas this past weekend. The 1-2 pitch, strike 3. Looking. Lancaster 6 strikeouts through 2 2/3 innings. Angel Escobar comes to the plate. Brush won the first game in Hayes on Friday, and then they lost to Hayes High School, Manhattan High School, and then a team from Wichita. So just different competition. That was good for the Bee Diggers to go down there. But nice to get a few more wins. But Brush has a full week of baseball ahead of them. They play today against Yuma. And tomorrow, weather permitting, they go to Strasburg for a 4 p.m. start. The 1-1 pitch from Lancaster, swung at and missed. And then they've got a game on Saturday at 11 a.m. at Kersey to play the Platte Valley Broncos. So Brush facing Strasburg and Platte Valley league games this week. Brush comes into this game, the game for tomorrow, 5-6 in the Patriot. There's 14 teams in the Patriot League, and Brush sits 7th place. So we got Eaton in first, University in second, Berthoud in third, Res Christian in fourth, Sterling in fifth, and I might have those two turned around, and Valley in sixth, Brush is in seventh. And then below Brush is Platte Valley and Strasburg. And then when you look at Max Preps, Strasburg is 24th pitch. That's fouled off at the plate. Brush comes into today 25th in max preps. Strasburg is 24th in max preps, and Platte Valley is 27th in max preps. So Brush really has opportunity in order to be able to improve their standing going into the postseason. And strikeout of the side by Josh Lancaster. No runs, no hits, no errors. Josh Lancaster with 7 strikeouts in the first 3 innings. Brush 10, Yuma 0. You're listening to Beat Digger Baseball on 1010 KSIR and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. To the bottom of the 3rd inning we go. Brush Beat Diggers with a 10-0 lead over the Yuma baseball team. Yuma has some changes. Brody Sheffield comes to the hill. And I'm going to have to figure out where everybody else is on the field. Looks like Trejo's still at 3rd base. Number 11 is at shortstop, Marvin Duarte. So Duarte is the shortstop. Hagemeyer is the 2nd baseman. Lynch at 1st, and then I'm not sure. So we'll just go with that. Okay, so Yuma makes some changes, not wholesale, but they do make some changes. Brody Sheffield comes in to pitch for the Yuma Indians, and the freshman has pitched 8 2/3 innings. In those 8 2/3 innings, he struck out 17 and 7 base on balls, but he has an 8.08 ERA, a record of 1 win and 1 loss. Wiley Eicher comes to the plate. Eicher walked his first time up. But again, the story, Josh Lancaster, 2 strikeouts in the first inning, 2 in the second, 3 in the third for 7 out of the first 9 outs. Pitch to Eicher, a ball. The offering swung at and missed by Eicher. Evens account at 1. Pitches in the dirt. 2 balls and a strike to Wiley. Sheffield with just 8 2/3 innings, but 17 strikeouts. That's averaging almost 2 per inning. So he's got some movement on his pitches. But that pitch low and in the dirt. 3 balls and a strike to Wiley Eicher, the 3rd baseman for the Beat Diggers today. Brush with a 10-0 lead. Sheffield the offering. And that ball hit towards Tom Odell, 3rd base coach. Fields it one hand, gets it to Trejo. Trejo over to Sheffield. Full count. To Eicher from the full windup. Sheffield, strike 3, outside corner. First out, Edgar Navarro comes to the plate for the Beat Diggers. So there you go. Sheffield 9 innings pitched, 18 strikeouts. So he is averaging 2 per inning now. Navarro pitch called a strike, letter high. Navarro got on base via the air. He bunted and it went underneath. Anyway, curveball by Sheffield, a strike. Ahead in the count. No balls and 2 strikes, 1 out. The offering, pitch low and outside, a ball and 2 strikes. The umpires today, I do not recognize them. They don't know me, so I'm not sure exactly where they're from. Doesn't matter. That pitch fouled off at the plate. Ty Griffith picks it up out of the on-deck circle, gets it back to the pitcher, Sheffield. Beautiful day for baseball, goodness sakes. There's a slight breeze. Keep it a little bit cool that way. Pitch, strike 3, outside corner. So Sheffield strikes out his first two batters
Senior number 10, Ty Griffin.
today. Ty Griffith comes to the plate with 2 outs. Ty is walked both times. Love to be able to square one up here today, and that pitch hits Ty, upper left shoulder. Hit by a pitch, Ty on at first. Ty's going to run for himself. No. I don't think they can do that. Metlin's going to come in and be the courtesy runner where Thatcher Queen has been the courtesy runner before. I always thought the courtesy runner had to be the same one all the game through. But Ben Metlin comes in to be the courtesy runner at first base. Tanner Ludgate at the plate with 2 outs. Swung at and missed. But what do I know? Goodness. Maybe they changed that rule. I have no idea. Obviously, the pitch, the 0-1 pitch outside. Count evens at 1. Lancaster on deck. 2 outs. Brush scored 4 runs in the first inning, 6 runs in the second inning. Metlin takes off. Pitch a ball. Metlin has the base stolen. Two balls and a strike to Tanner Ludgate. And Ludgate gets a hold of it, and the ball hit out towards center field, up and over the center fielder, Angel Escobar's head. And Ludgate is rounding second, headed towards third. Metlin comes in and scores the 11th run for the Beat Diggers. Ludgate with a triple. Hit the ball hard, straight away center field, got all of it, and drove it all the way to the fence. So Ludgate at third brings Josh Lancaster to the plate. 2 for 2 on the day, single and a double. Pitch skips away from the catcher, and Ludgate's going to stay at third. And then the catcher throws it past the pitcher who's covering the plate, and Duarte comes in and picks it up as a shortstop. Ludgate could have had the 12th run for the Beat Diggers easily enough, but chose not to. That's okay. Brush with an 11-0 lead over the Yuma baseball team. And that ball hit up and out of play to the left. Sheffield, the 1-1 pitch, curveball, ball hit out. Second baseman, Hagemeyer over to first. And the ball, Hagemeyer to Lynch, and Lynch scoops it out of the dirt for the 3rd out. So Brush scores 1 run on 1 hit. They leave 1 runner on the bases. There were no Yuma errors after 3 complete innings of play. Brush 11, Yuma 0. You're listening to Beat Digger Baseball on 1010 KSIR in the Eastern Plains Sports Network. Top of the 4th inning, Brody Sheffield steps in against Josh Lancaster here at sunshiny Sunset Field in Brush, Colorado. Clouds to the north, or just that thunderstorm just kind of continues to move on towards the east. It's probably up there along the Nebraska border. That ball hit by Sheffield down the left field line. Rounds first, and he gets about halfway to second and puts the brakes on and comes back. Proctor cut that off and got that ball back to the infield. So Sheffield with a single on a hard line drive down the left field line. Riley Trejo comes to the plate. Yuma with their white pants, their red jerseys, and white numerals and lettering. Pitch a strike. That was the second hit for Yuma. Trejo had the first in the first inning. Sheffield has their second hit here in the fourth inning. 2.5 step lead by Sheffield. And nope. Pitch gets away from Ty, just about 6 or 8 feet away from him. He gets over and looked like Sheffield was going to take off. He does have 7 stolen bases on the season, but thought better of it and back to the plate, or back to first base. Pitch was a ball, 1 strike. Now the pitch from Lancaster to Trejo, low and in the dirt, 2 balls and 1 strike. Nobody out for Yuma here in the top of the fourth inning. Sheffield with a little bit braver of a lead of 3. Pitch upstairs, ball 3. 3 balls, 1 strike to Trejo. Lancaster works his way through these guys the second time through the order. Sheffield, 3-step lead, the pitch, and that ball's fouled up and out of play. Count is full, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Payoff pitch with nobody out. Sheffield at first. Wind out of the east. The ball could carry a little bit towards left field today. The payoff pitch, and that's fouled out of play. Josh Lancaster strikes out 7 of the first 9 outs. The payoff pitch hit by Trejo out to second, out to short, and the ball thrown out to right field. So throwing error by Nate Tyne at shortstop. So runners at first and second.
Up next to play for Yuma, number 30, Carson Lynch.
Would have been a fielder's choice, but nonetheless, an error by the Brush Bee Diggers here on the top of the fourth inning. Give Yuma a little bit of life. Runners at first and second. Pitch. A ball to Carson Lynch. Lynch, a big boy. Probably could make the ball ride pretty far, and that pitch a strike at the knees. 1 ball, 1 strike. One pitch from Lancaster to Lynch. Sheffield at second, Trejo at first, and that ball popped up, infield fly, and there we've got the double play. The ball was hit to third base, Wiley Eicher. Wiley Eicher corrals the ball, and Trejo was off the bag for whatever unexplained reason, was halfway to second. Eicher gets the ball over to Tank at first for the double play. So Sheffield still at second with 2 outs. Jonathan Thompson comes to the plate. Just that quickly, 2 outs. Sheffield at second. Thompson takes ball number 2. 2 balls, no strikes to Jonathan Thompson. Struck out swinging. Chased one of Lancaster's pitches that were up and out of the zone. The 2-0. Pitch at the knees, a strike. It's been a while since Brush has played Yuma in baseball. Lancaster, ball, 1 hopper to Eicher. Eicher over to Tank. 5-3 on the putout. So for Yuma, no runs, 1 hit, was one Brush error, and there was a double play mixed in, and there was one runner left on base. So after 3.5 innings of play, Brush 11, Yuma 0. You're listening to Beat Digger Baseball on 1010 KSIR and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. Halfway through and Brush today, 3.5 innings in the books. Brush comes to the plate in the bottom of the 4th inning. Nate Tyne comes to the plate. Had a triple his last at bat that was hit up and over the right fielder's head to the fence. But that was against Hugo Montez. Looks like Montez moved to left field. Escobar still in center. Tanner Hines in right. Trejo at third. Duarte at short. Hagemeyer at second. Lynch at first. Brody Sheffield on the hill. Jonathan Thompson behind the plate. Nate Tyne comes to the plate. Finishes up last warm-up toss. Ball thrown down. Tyne comes to the plate. Brush gets 4 runs here in this bottom of the 4th inning. We could call it a ball game. Brush needs today's win, but they also need the win tomorrow against Strasburg and the win on Saturday against Platte Valley. It would just help their cause to get them out of, say, the bottom 8. And that ball's fouled back and out of play. Because right now, I think Brush would end up facing one of the top 8 teams that would end up hosting in the playoffs. The 0-1 pitch took a little bit off, and Tyne hits that ball down the right field line, and Tyne rounds first on his way to second and slides into second for a hustle double. Good job, Nate Tyne.
Up next for Brush, sophomore number 2, Percy Odell.
Odell comes to the plate. 1 for 1 on the day with a walk. Had a single in the first inning. Tyne leads off from second base. Pitch upstairs to Odell. 1 ball, no strikes. As I was saying, Brush needs these wins this week to get them out of the bottom 8, and hopefully then that would get them to where they would go someplace. They wouldn't face a top seed host. That pitch was to the screen. Tyne moves up to third on the wild pitch. We'll see more how everything plays out once Brush does play Strasburg and once Brush does play Platte Valley. That pitch outside. Ball 3. Percy Odell, 3 balls, no strikes. He walked his last at bat. Tank Garrett on deck. The 3-0. Ball 4. Tank comes to the plate. He's been on base both times. Hits from the left side. Got on base via the air in the first inning. Single. I gave him a single his last at bat. He hit the ball hard. Past Trejo at third. Went the opposite field. So runners at first and third for Tank Garrett. Tyne at third. Odell at second takes off with the pitch. The pitch, he has the base stolen on defensive indifference. Pitch was low to Tank. Runners at second and third. Good scoring opportunity for the Diggers here. Pitch, a strike at the knees. The 1-1 And Garrett hits that ball out towards right field, and that ball drops, and it hops over the right fielder's head. Tyne comes in and scores, and Odell stays at third, so Tank Garrett, base hit. 2 for 2 on the day. Well, 2 for 3 because he got on via the air. Tank gets the RBI. Hunter Proctor comes to the plate. Jonathan Thompson steps out, gives catcher signals what he's going to do with the ball when Tank Garrett steals second. He's attempted twice today. First time out. Second time he overran the bag. Pitch, a strike, letter high, outside corner. Proctor 0 for 2 on the day. Pitch, outside. Evens a count at 1. Stubbs Gas and Oil, one-stop shopping does exist. Gas, food, and all your travel accessories. Get off I-76 at exit 66A in Wiggins. Pitch swung on and missed by Proctor. With a 12-0 lead, maybe Tank Garrett's not going to steal second base. 3-step lead, and off he goes. How about that? And that ball, so defensive indifference. Tank Garrett takes second base. Pitch a ball, 2 balls, 2 strikes to Proctor. Runners at second and third, and Proctor hits that ball up and out of play. Count remains at 2. Nobody out. Brush 3 runs away from being able to finish this game off. And we're only an hour and 5 minutes old. The pitch from Sheffield, and that ball hit out towards center field. And Odell comes in and scores. Garrett to third. Single by Proctor up the middle.
Up next to the plate, junior number 1, Wiley Eicher.
Wiley Eicher comes to the plate. Runners at first and third. Rush 2 runs away. Nobody out. Garrett at third. Proctor at first. Wiley Eicher 0 for 1 on the day. He did walk his first at bat. Eicher a couple nice plays here defensively in the last half inning. And that ball bunted out. Pitcher Sheffield, and Garrett slides in and tagged out. So Sheffield gets a ball to Thompson. Thompson puts the tag on Tank at the plate for the out. So we got a fielder's choice on the bunt. And from the pitcher to the catcher. And Garrett out. And Proctor at second, Eicher at first. 1 out. Keaton Gillick comes to the plate to hit for Edgar Navarro. And that ball hit towards Trejo and in the hole past the shortstop. And Coach Odell holds up Hunter Proctor at third base to load the bases. Ty Griffith comes to the plate. And with 1 swing, this game could very well be over. But a single. The score 13-0. And that ball is hit out towards left field. And it's just a matter of that's foul ball. Foul ball down the left field line. If it would have been fair, ball game would have been over. No place to put Ty Griffith. Bases loaded. He's walked his first 2 times up, hit by pitch his 3rd time up. Pitch, a ball. Count evens at 1. This is Brush's last home game. Ty Griffith's last home game as a senior in the Beat Digger uniform. And the pitch, outside, a ball. Runners stay home. Sheffield gives Ty Griffith anything to hit. It'll be a ball game because runners at every base. The pitch, Sheffield swung at and missed by Ty Griffith. Count evens at 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Bases loaded. Proctor at 3rd, Eicher at 2nd, Jillick at 1st. The pitch, outside. Full count. Payoff pitch. Upcoming. Last at bat for Ty Griffith in this field. The pitch. And that ball hit out towards left field. Proctor comes in and scores. Eicher comes in and scores. And that'll be the ball game. Ty Griffith with a 2-run, 2 RBI single. And that will end the ball game. Brush with a 15-0 lead win. Brush Beat Diggers move to 9-12 on the season. They face Strasburg tomorrow. Platte Valley on Saturday. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll put a close on this. Brush 15, Yuma baseball team 0. You've been listening to Beat Digger Baseball on 1010 KSIR and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. Brush Beat Diggers with a 15-0 win over the Yuma baseball team. Brush 15 runs, 12 hits, 1 error, and there were 3 runners left on base. For Yuma, no runs on 2 hits. There were 3 Yuma errors, and there were 2 runners left on base. Time of the game, 1 hour, 12 minutes. Game started at 75 degrees, finished at 75 degrees. Josh Lancaster was the winning pitcher. Hugo Montez, the losing pitcher. Montez moves to 0-6. Josh Lancaster, out of his 4 innings worked, struck out 7. 7 of the first 9 outs were by Lancaster. The 4th inning, Yuma got runners on base. Brush was able to get a double play in order to be able to take care of Yuma. And then another out, ground out, and that took care of Yuma in the 4th inning. But pretty much a dominating win by Brush. Brush needs a good win. Rayleigh Trejo had one of Yuma's hits. Brody Sheffield had the other of Yuma's hits. For Brush, Ty Griffith scored 3 runs, was 1 for 1 on the day. Tanner Ledgate 2 for 3 and scored a run. Nate Tyne 2 for 2, scored 3 runs. Josh Lancaster 2 for 3 and scored 2 runs. Percy Odell was 1 for 1 and scored all 3 times that he was on base. Franklin Garrett 2 for 3 on the day. Attempted stolen bases twice and was out on 1 and overran the bag on the other. Too much speed. Hunter Proctor 1 for 3 and scored a run. Wiley Eicher 0 for 2 and scored a run. Edgar Navarro 0 for 2 and scored a run. And Keaton Jillick had a base hit here in the last inning. And let's see here. Run this back. Pitching, I don't think Josh Lancaster, 45 pitches, 35 strikes, no runs, 7 strikeouts, 6 of them swinging, gave up the 2 hits, then there was no base on balls. So good job by Brush. They needed to take care of business. Beautiful day in Brush, blue sky. Again, this is Brush's last home game for the seniors. They've already had their senior night as well as parents' night. So that won't be celebrated tonight. Brush is on the road tomorrow. They play Strasburg at 4 o'clock in Strasburg, weather permitting. Weather forecast does show that there will be a good chance for rain showers tomorrow and Thursday. So if that game is not played tomorrow, more than likely it'll probably be played on Friday. And then Brush on Saturday, they go to Kersey and they play Platte Valley. So Brush with a 9-12 record, 5-6 in the Patriot. That didn't improve the day, but nonetheless, Brush convincing 15-0 win over the Yuma Indians. They scored 4 runs in the first inning, 6 in the second inning, 1 in the fourth, 1 in the third, and 4 in the fourth for their 15 runs. Ty Griffith walked in the first inning, and from there he came around and scored, and that was all Brush needed. But Brush was helped out by Yuma. Plenty of mental mistakes by Yuma that don't show up as errors, but mental mistakes nonetheless. So Brush with a 15-0 win over the Yuma Indians today. So let's see. That is the Brush postgame show is brought to you by Advanced Agri Solutions. Get a full plan of seed, food, water for your field. Now is the time to begin your planning for next year's growing season. Call Dusty or Roxy at 970-571-2024. The sound engineer and producer of Brush Beat Digger Baseball is Rose Condis. Rose, thank you for your help throughout this season. I'm Kevin Fergus with the final score, Brush 15, Yuma Baseball Team 0. You've been listening to Brush Beat Digger Baseball on 1010 KSIR and the Eastern Plains Sports Network.